One of the big surprises I've learned in talking to people who live on the street is how long they go without anyone saying their name, that no one asks their name. A lot of people, unfortunately, when they see that person on the street, we divert our eyes and we look away. We pretend they're not there. My name is Paul English. I'm based in Boston, and I'm an entrepreneur and an activist. I'm best known for kayak.com, a company I started in 2004. Today, I'm running a venture studio where my day job is starting companies. I first started getting involved in nonprofits in my early 20s after college when I began working. Our team would get together and do a day of nonprofit, whether it's working in a soup kitchen, doing a day of house renovation for Habitat for Humanity, participating in the Walk for Hunger. I looked at it both as it just feels good to give back to help people in need, and to get together with people and feed people or help build a home. It's just nothing like it. I've always been aware of homeless people growing up in Boston, but I didn't really do much. When my son was about 3 or 4 years old, we were driving by Albany Street, and there's a man sleeping on the side of the road under a bridge. My son became very upset, and he said, "Daddy, is that a man? Is he alive? Is he okay?" And my little son made me get out of the car to go check on this man. That really woke me up. I started volunteering at different homeless shelters, and ultimately I met Dr. Jim O'Connell at Boston Healthcare for the Homeless. One night I was out in the night van with Dr. O'Connell, and we were near Downtown Crossing, and we came across a man on a bench. And I sat next to him, talking to him about, did he need anything that night? And how did he end up in this park? How often was he in that park? And this man disclosed to me that he had bipolar illness, which really hurt him a lot. And I was able to connect with that because I too have bipolar illness. I remember thinking, sort of shuddering for a second and thinking, if I was maybe 10% or 20% more bipolar than I am, that could be me sitting on that bench for the night. And one day I was just thinking, we obviously can't fit 1,000 people into the night van, but how can we get more people in Boston to get that experience firsthand, talking with people who are living on the street? That's where the idea for the walk came up, which is getting more people front and center with our neighbors who are living on the streets. I remember the first year we had to pick a day, we got a permit, and then we organized some speakers, both homed and homeless. We partnered with places to give hot coffee and hot sandwiches on that day, and really just partnering with homeless service organizations, different shelters, to tell them, we're going to do this walk in Boston. This is our first year. We'd like you to participate. We're going to try to raise money. And ultimately, we did get a bunch of groups together, and I'd say the first walk was very successful. If I remember correctly, it was a few hundred people, which I was amazed. I never thought we'd get that many. So last year at 4,000, that was pretty cool. We've done it now for 8 years. The Winter Walk in Boston this year raised over $1 million. Seeing 4,000 people in the Boston Common gives me hope. The more money we raise, the more people we help, the more compassion we're building, and the better we are at telling the story of how we need to help those living on the street. One of the things that's been really meaningful to me is I've gotten to know people on the walk. There's people I see year after year. They would tell me about what they did between the two walks, like which service organization they took meetings with, which soup kitchens they worked in, which other types of program they did to help people living on the street. Ultimately, we measure success by how many people were able to get off the street, how many people we got into treatment, into a home, and ultimately help them find a job that's meaningful that they can do. So for 2025, we want to do something dramatic, and we really want to take Winter Walk national. I would like to have 4,000 walkers in 10 cities and raise millions of dollars in each city. I would like to see walks in Boston, New York, Chicago, Detroit, Seattle, San Francisco. So we need partners in other northern cities to help take our playbook and to run a walk in their city. The major hurdle to solving homelessness, I think, is just awareness. And once you expose enough of the community to the people living in the street, to what their needs are, that begins a movement which will influence politicians, policy, and funding. If you want to get involved, please reach out to us at winterwalk.org. You can start to make a difference locally, and then together we can make a difference nationally.